I will offer you insight about capitalism. Probably something you will not get out of YouTube, unfortunately. Besides that, capitalism is coming to an end, which is actually quite true. Because of how convoluted this topic is, it took me like 5 times to get it right, to make this video correctly. So welcome to Max Stats, where we try to improve our mindsets, and then it ends up improving us as a whole. Everyone is despising capitalism right now, but back in the day it was pretty sweet. Back when I was growing up, you know? I think we all know capitalism as a pyramid scheme. Unavoidable pyramid scheme. And everyone reinvents their own little pyramids to try and leech off the society of unfortunate people who cannot figure out how to cross this line of being unhappy over here because they're below average, and then being happy over here. And it does require IQ to know that this is average and not this. Most people look into like celebrity world, into rich people world, and they get teased by it. Not knowing how many people helped to build that empire. And how it just simply does not matter. Just like back in the day, it was pretty interesting. You just had to wait. And new technology would come in. You want PC? Just wait long enough. Unfortunately, children around me would kind of mock me for not having a PC. Back in school times, everyone just picking on me of like, when are you gonna get one, right? Why don't you have this? I even had to lie about it of like, what kind of PC do you have? Windows? XP? But the reality is, it's all anxiety and you just had to wait. And people can't wait to get the next thing. Which is very funny because this is what bizarre drama is all about. I think we actually unlocked something crazy. This is happening on my card game channel. Where almost like a perfect version of this strategy is actually given to people. Where if you want the free thing, then you just have to wait. You're not going to be competitive. It's literally mimicking real life, the way I remember it. I couldn't have all these cool things that other people had, but now I can. Now I have them, you know? And I kind of appreciate them more because I was teased by them, you know? While other people, children, they moved on. I don't know, they made families at this point. Literally, those two guys that kind of picked on me, they just made families, and like, they're kind of pathetic. They never kept contact with me because that's what capitalism is. It's a world of privacy. Unfortunate. Because if you want private property as a value, you have to have privacy as a counter value. Yes, privacy is not a good thing. Privacy is full of bullshit. And it's one of the things that keeps us divided and upset on each other. Anytime there's drama, no one's going to step in and help you out. Try to untangle the toxicity and complexity of the drama, which should happen. It should happen. Only when things get out of control, police will knock on your door and figure out if anyone is guilty of anything to try and really separate your family. But until then, you have privacy. You can do whatever you want as long as it's legal, or you don't get caught. Funny enough, it's a terrifying system. Privacy should not be glorified in any circumstance. While it does give private property, that you can own something for yourself, turning this, my friends, into a game. Yes, unfortunately, even I didn't see it coming, but this money-making thing where number go up, it's in fact a game of people trying to get to the very top and trying to, you know, get a happy life for themselves. This is not permanent because it's a game. It's gonna collapse. Capitalism is over, in technical terms, the way people are describing it. All right, twice. Dying over. It's fascinating. Late stage, they say. Very interesting. They all in tune with the same idea that this game, the moment we don't want to play this game, it's gonna collapse and no longer be effective, inspiring people to participate. We already have enough private property. We can do something else at this point. We're already outraged all over the internet. You know, I think we all have enough things. If you're outraged, you can sense what's actually going on, right? If people just want money to survive... Oh, wait. No. That's not it. It's the outrage that causes inflation. Because everyone wants to yap and scream at each other, but nobody wants to work. In this game, unfortunately, the only way up is work, is obtaining skills and selling those skills. Obtaining friendships and selling those friendships. Obtaining connections and maintaining connections, but not friendships. You are your own private person. You have to fight for yourself. You have to find courage within yourself to push forward. It's getting harder and harder to push forward when everyone is bringing you down. Your mood is going to go down. Your sanity is going to go down. Everyone is doom and gloomy right now because we're actually going through a transition of changing the game right now. You want proof? Proof is all over the place. I have something better. I have the clock of humanity that I use. Clock of humanity that I always say goes from 1433, the I want something, then it manifests reality. If you want something, it's actually going to dictate what's going to happen to your life. However, you have to not be afraid. What you want has to be fairly legal, fairly rational. And the rest is, can you afford it? Funny enough, what you want is going to change because you will be able to afford it because it's going to be AI. It's going to be full technology, full power for you to do whatever you want. Yeah, you will be able to imagine any sort of environment, anything surreal and insane. You can craft your own reality, it seems. Still, the better reality wins. That's going to be the new game of business capitalism. Because business is also going to start collapsing right now. Afterwards, it's going to go 1-4-4-1. And yes, this system seems to be flawless to me. I mean, I love it so much. I use it so often. But this is a pretty interesting revelation to me. That's a game that you don't necessarily should be participating as much as possible because all you get is just luxury. You don't actually get straight up happiness. Just past this point, past the point of like finding equality within yourself, finding a way to make money ethically and hold on to that money, not spend it, find enough principles to be afloat in the middle ground. The next thing are a bunch of question marks. If you need this or need that and need this. It's all luxury. It's all greed, technically. So winning this game is not exactly the most optimal way to live life. You'll get fame and fortune, I guess. It's hard to tell. If it's good or not. You don't know. It just seems it would drain you as a human being, and it's best to always find the middle ground, the most balanced position. You will be better off, at least in the next game. I would have to tear myself apart to be able to actually achieve greater status of greater zeros. You have, let's say, you have the 2-0 territory, and then it keeps going up, allowing you to afford greater luxuries in life. If those luxuries are not meaningful, they will slip through again. So I'm not old enough to actually build myself up and even play this game. I just wanted to get those premium seats for the next game to start. Alright, I'm gonna be running maybe a little bit faster than I thought I would be playing the next thing. Like, I don't know, social media domination, trying to make the coolest things possible with AI. I don't know what it's gonna encompass, to be honest. But right now we're all tired, and these luxury people probably have to spend their wealth and move on with their lives so the game can successfully shut down. We're going through apocalypse. We're going through just uncertainty because a lot of people are getting like really upset. The privacy is ruining our lives, and so this whole system has to kind of shut down and collapse and find out that it ran its course and money is turning into like a destructive thing if we don't take care of it in a balanced manner. So that's the state of the world right now. And I will teach you guys how to improve yourself knowing all of this. Again, I've done this 5 times, and now I have pools of information to draw from. I don't even have to do anything anymore. First, it's nice to watch capitalism videos just to really iterate to yourself what it's all about. I will try to watch many of these videos to make sure I have full perspective of what's going on. Yeah, it's a game. And you don't want to go in debt. You don't want to praise privacy. Because privacy is only for, guess what? Not rich and famous. It's for the criminals. I've covered privacy. You can find it on my channel. I figured out that it is actually really bad. Only bad people would want privacy. Only bad people don't understand the value of just like sharing problems with each other. So clearly all of this will equalize, and we played a game, we wanted to see what happens, right? It's almost like this way. But it's clearly no longer serving society when society is kind of like getting very bitter and destructive. Number go up, but you have to reach a certain threshold. Yeah, so YouTube is the same thing. It's also basically the same game of number go up. Where again, you need to get to find that balance, and please help me find that balance. I need 1,000 subscribers on all of my channels. Starting this one, please. That's just the threshold of how much respect you have to accumulate for your channel to be, you know, financially useful. Because if I get a grip or anyone else get a grip that's like smart enough, but mainly me, because I'm trying to like generate advice to other people. If I get a grip on YouTube, like that's a pretty big deal. I get to lean on it a little bit. I get to treat it more seriously. That does not necessarily mean I will script my content. I believe in self-improvement more than self pre-programming. I don't believe in that. I like listening to chill podcasts, not like heavily scripted, hard to consume content. Like that's not exactly a fun thing to do, a humane thing to do. You really want to be careful with your sanity right now of all the things that's going to be happening. Because a lot of people, in order to achieve this YouTube 1K subscribers, they're going to do insane things. And why am I so confident that a lot of people would want to reach 1K subscribers? This is like a social media era, right? The next generation are just TikTokers. So of course everyone wants followers all over the place. And YouTube happens to be a more respectable place where you can actually accumulate videos. Friendship is a very interesting concept in capitalism because we have been advertised shit like alcohol and cigarettes, and this shit is an advertisement. This is the thing that people picked up because you can buy it. You know, you can waste money on it. And people sort of trick each other. They're like having this like secret war with each other in this situation where they overinvest on garbage. And unfortunately, one of those garbages is food. One of the reasons why I'm starting to break up with my friend is because I made a statement. The cheaper the food, the tastier it is. And my guy just can't wrap his head around another one of these statements. But this one was extra spicy. So I don't know if you agree or disagree. You better agree with this statement because I'm trying to improve your life. If you're gonna be financially more secure, it's a lot easier to stabilize yourself and pass into the next stage. Otherwise, you will have to drop down. Let's say from America to Europe, you'll have to drop down a few levels and then seek stabilization and then pass your test. So this is getting really weird. Is this what a prediction right now? This is what is coming together. But basically, if you drop down one level, it's a lot easier to move up and down because you're an interesting person. If you go to a different nation that's poorer than you, your money means more. Your experiences mean more because you lived in like luxurious places. You did cool things. You get to talk to people. Like imagine going to Africa. Of course, you're going to be the most interesting person, the most interesting white guy that hopefully doesn't get hunted down. Ugh. But the moment you stabilize, you go to the next stage. And if you don't listen to financial advice, no matter what it might be, you might miss out these great opportunities. Financial advice should never be give me money, but it should be save money. Save yourself, bro, and hopefully you appreciate and give me some feedback on how it went. You know, give me a hand in case I need help. Because you never know, it's still randomized of how long it will take for other people. Maybe some other people are a little bit more selfless and they get stuck saving other people, but you know, being these gatekeepers. I like this analogy for myself. But anyways, the cheaper the food, the tastier it is. What food is cheap and what food is expensive? Expensive food is highly marketed, highly processed, with lots of ingredients, with lots of crap, shrinkflation, nice packaging. Guess what? It's full of shit. Expensive food is often full of shit. It's not good for you. And everyone's trying to scream, but nobody puts this in such a nice formula where I started buying cheaper and cheaper foods and I'm like, I can do that. It's fine. That's literally good. Now I'm just buying vegetables, fruits, soups, and extra, spice that is expensive, but it's spice. It's the spice makes things even cheaper because you want to buy more bread. When you have sausage, you have more bread. When you have good spice, you can eat potato nicely, right? Like you gotta think critically. Spice is not necessarily the food. It's is a topping on something that's already cheap. So yeah, you would take like the average amount in that case. It's always best to cook for yourself, not to just buy the thing unless you are busy, you have like a very intense job and you earn a lot of money. Of course, then saving time is better for you. Then this financial advice is no longer valid. You are playing an intense game up here and you're doing fine. If you're up here, you don't need to listen to me whatsoever. You probably wouldn't. But people down here, they have to stop doing bullshit things, and playing the lottery with their money. Buying expensive foods, getting attracted by candy, cookies, and other types of nonsense, other sweet treats. That, my friends, that could be anything. That could be any amount of ingredients, of any kind of ingredients. You can always be fooled by expensive foods. But cheap foods you will never be fooled by, and they're cheap because they're competitive. Potatoes are competitive and they cannot be marketed as greater potatoes than the other potatoes. In fact, when you go to a supermarket, you're probably still going to get shitty apples. Apples that are not juicy and chewy, They're hard to bite into. The very process to look good, so you buy them, but they're not actually very easy to, appreciate. But then you have farmers' apples where it's just like, they mushy like fucking easy to eat. They taste nice. Now that shit I approve. So the cheaper the food, apparently, it is the tastier. That became the principle now, because capitalism can't touch those like really good ingredients, really good raw ingredients. They can't touch that. They can't market it. They can't sell it to you. You know it's supposed to be cheap, but most people don't want to buy it, and they are fooled to do something like that. Oh boy. So I still need to like, even my brain has to be revived. I call myself like a smart person, to myself at least. And I still hardly optimize on this factor. I can optimize even more. I spend the most money I spend is on food right now, not on rent or anything. It's on food. So if the more use I would save, the more opportunities I would open up to just quickly escape this bullshit. I don't know. Who the fuck knows what would happen if I just did perfect score, which is why I'm running max stats to really optimize what I can do in my life. And this principle, it's a home run. If my friend does not appreciate it, maybe he's just trying to gaslight me that I found something really valuable that I should appreciate on my own terms. I should keep it private. I made a great achievement and I should keep it private. Maybe it's fine. Maybe he cannot just tell you did a great job, dude. You gotta keep pushing me and challenging me. I understand. Maybe friendships meant to die in the face of capitalism because they will bring you down. They will only bring you down. Maybe he doesn't understand. Like, we can't work together. So I have to push through on my own terms and make it through. Maybe I even have a chance. Maybe I have tiny clock to actually level up and achieve success. Who knows, right? So I'm really running as this whole operation of max stats really seriously. Providing. Yes. The big question mark is, how do you find a girlfriend? How do you find a job? That's a big question. In fact, this is a triad of things. Of searching, spending, and earning. The triad of things when it comes to capitalism. Now, it's almost like too late to think about money, but it's nice to, overwatch the entire game as it's collapsing. There's a chance for gig economy, right? To just come up to a person and sell them something. And that's literally it. That should be the basic of capitalism. But when there are regulations in place, when there are fears in place, it gets a lot more difficult to sell things and approach people. And also, it does ruin privacy if everyone approaches you with opportunities of some kind, right? But they should. They should still give opportunities besides selling something. There should be job opportunities and, well, relationship opportunities as well. No one is interested in participating in this, like, capitalistic game. Or they just brain rotted out of existence. I don't know. I barely had a chance in my life to, like, deal with women kind of face to face, but, like, I had absolutely no self-esteem to worry about that shit. Everything would just fall apart because, like, they don't seem to care. They only seem to run away and reject you. Meaning that finding a job is exponentially more difficult because the job is trying to run away from you or trying to become fake, while the real jobs are just laying and, they don't know what to do. Most businesses don't actually know what to do. And on TikTok, I saw a guy just like, oh, I I just called up businesses near me. They don't really offer jobs, but maybe they have something laying around. Maybe they do need something. Social media expert, bro. Of course. A new generation of of people have new skills to offer, and the only thing you have to do is ask. I still have a hard time asking because I have zero courage and I am panicking about it. But at the same time, I have zero courage because I'm a creative person. I don't have to run around and panic to get a job. It's not really going to do me no good. So I keep it as like a luxury experience for when I have a courageous friend to see who wants to see what happens, right? How does he get rejected or accepted? And how do you actually find these things? So searching is actually not my thing, all right? I don't go outside and start searching for things. I don't also earn anything, especially during the apocalypse. I went to UK to earn with my dad. My dad promoted me into Western European status, and I just kind of like, you know, let it slide. But I felt a lot more in tune, in control when I came back home. And everything kind of fell into place where I am now like really comfortable with my life. Or I'm just being protected from the apocalypse. Who the fuck knows anymore? So the best skill that I have is spending. I know where to spend my time because I literally know how much time I spent on stress. For example, I literally track this thing like my religion. I know everything about spending and how to cut spending as much as possible, which is where this principle of tastier foods are cheaper comes from. Food is not necessarily supposed to be tastier, but there's more of it if it's cheaper. There's just more of it. It's easier to feed yourself with that food. You don't have to think about it much. And because it's a raw material, you can eat a lot of it without, going through packages and trying to turn dry material into like soft material. It's trash, right? So instead you have grain, soups, fruits and vegetables. It's the main package that cannot be taken away from you. I know this part of spending, right? Also know obviously not to buy the newest iPhone when it comes out, not to be attached to newest technologies too much. You gotta cut spending there. You gotta escape rent as best as you can because that shit is possible. If it's possible, you have to do it. If it's possible to escape a subscription service, holy shit, do you have to do it? Often enough, a subscription service will allow you to subscribe for 1 month. You have to take advantage of that, of just, subscribe 1 month to this or that. Whatever you're really interested into, plan it out, prepare yourself, and then jump into that subscription for 1 month only. Yep. So I have personality, good skills on that, and yeah, if I unite with other four people, because there's always four. Spending, earning, and searching is not the only things. Technically, you can be accumulating. You can even accumulate trash, and that would still be accumulation or filtering. I don't know. Transforming shitty items, selling. I don't know what the most important skill is that is missing, but I know it's always the magical number of four things. So I would assume that there's one more. And that I'm very good at spending. Let's pretend that my mom is good at earning, but it's more like my dad is good at earning. But then my mom is good at searching. I don't think so. I don't even know if I can put women on this equation. Anyways. So capitalism is an intense game. Number go up is a meaningful process because everything has value. Everything can be sold to a needy person. If there's demand for something, you can sell it for a certain price. However, there is a big but. If there are not enough exchanges in the economy, then the economy became privatized, and people don't want to deal with each other because they're scared of each other. They don't have anything to offer potentially, or they don't feel the urge to play the game. Whatever's going on, if there's not enough exchanges in the game over, boys. Game over. Because we're literally not using the game anymore, or we don't even know how to play it. When I was at school, someone comes up to me and offers me to buy a shitty fucking phone, and I'm like, yep, I'll buy it. And some other dude is saying, like, oh, he's selling you overpriced garbage. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But I still think I went through with a deal, and I was like, fine, kind of fine with that deal. I didn't care. I just got a phone, you know? I I wouldn't know where to buy one anyways. So it's just like very cool stuff. Even at school was happening. People actually cared about this. It was possible. Get new technology, sell your old technology to some guy. You know, it's fun. But when this is no longer happening, what is the point of capitalism? There isn't. Those exchanges is the happiest thing that could happen. And I'm kind of fantasizing of like, wow, I found some cool technology. I could still do this, but there's a problem. Okay, again, I cannot sell. I don't have courage to earn money. It's just not gonna happen. But my dad kind of has. Like, he was trying to like rent a room that I had an extra room. I mean, he went in there, surprising me with his level of, selling skills. I mean, that was pretty interesting. Treat to take advantage. What happens with relationships, though? How do you attract women? I mean, women want to rise alongside rich people, but it's a lot more complicated because they can also earn their own money and they can just like tease relationships and run away from them. They can all only be in for the money. It gets weird, man. I don't know women's world that much in this situation. They reject you so quickly, they wouldn't answer a single fucking question about themselves. As if everything would expose them to not do so well anymore. But because everyone is a private person, relationships do suffer and people make less babies. We have baby boomed before capitalism, before entering capitalism. And we sort of like want to weed out people of like some people will have to suffer. Yes, there's a lot of people, and some people will have to suffer, and some people will have to be rich and famous. What can we do? It's a weird, inevitable situation that we put ourselves into after baby booming the the world. And right now, we're still at 8 billion. We're still growing population. Some parts of the world still doing weird shit, apparently. To be able to withstand capitalism and privacy, I don't know, man. It's something to behold. Mostly Africa is spawning human beings, and it's still scary. All right, it's because there's still more and more human beings to deal with. Like, what is going on, right? Overall, America and Europe is actually going down in population overall, but it's still not fast enough to warrant like some kind of panic. We would like population to go down to 4 billion just to, get a breath of fresh air of all these human beings doing things all over the place to the point where like right now we're in this like weird state of social media economy. Social media economy is a tricky one. It tricks you into seeing what is actually on top of the leaderboard. It like puts all the human beings on one scale, which is tricky because again, they cannot be on one scale. The next thing that happens though, not only you're connected across great distances between people. Or again, you can see the top of the actual leaderboard of like American leaderboard, even though you belong like in Europe. And the moment TikTok shut down, all Europeans are like, "Oh, Americans are gone. Finally, I can express my feelings." Oh, the Europeans got again a little bit of fresh air. Distance matters. All right. Distance between you and other businesses, other people, people who would actually be influential and would matter in your life. Keeping distance and just diving into social media can be destructive. This is a whole nother topic, I would say, and I will put a question mark on it because it definitely has to be investigated. I hate when people keep very long distance from each other to the point where I'm comfortable living on the internet, I guess. I don't know. And it's like if you actually would care about people who surround you, which they don't care about this thing. But if you would care, like it does make me uncomfortable of like I don't trust them. I don't know if I like them. All these thoughts, right? Even though they're like super influential. When I got closer to my mom, she, calmed down, like her mental illness kind of calmed down. I was able to save her from the grasp of insane shit that she was accumulating in her life of making shitty decisions. So I feel like distance requires respect. I just was never able to fully put it together. And people are so annoying, they can't accept it. Whoever you're closest to physically deserves respect. Your neighbors deserve respect, and something's got to give. While social media are just like creating this illusion that somehow celebrities are close to you. It's just, I'll take it. If nobody is gonna respect distance, I'll take the illusion because I know the illusion still has value, you know? So you can see how many moving pieces there are in capitalism. It's a very complicated topic. I will barely scratch a surface of this. The courageous country is always going to war against something in the end. This is why it's hard, but you have to escape. You have to like be on your own, like in wilderness of Russia, to not be found and drafted. It gets crazy in here. So all across the world, the apocalypse happening. All these like 7 regions that I call out. Fucking human portal, isolated America, Africa, the up, the demon America. I think I can easily call it that. I'm yet to explore all these like different levels that I'm saying are this. And again, if you go down enough, you will sort of be able to actually find balance a lot easier. Because it's going to be a lot more clear how to get balance of like survive, If you survive, you're balanced, bro. You're better than most people. Because a lot of people in Russia get thrown in the fire, right? Or a lot of people in Europe just go insane, go mad because like there's so many upsetting things happening in the world and you can barely keep yourself positive. A lot of Americans become just haters of everything, become bitter as if everyone is their enemy if they don't perform for you. Like stand countries that go to war. So I was basically trying to analyze the map of like what would happen if you go up and then down. You see, in United Kingdom and US, you need to pay high rent. And you might not be able to associate with people to avoid rent or get a good enough job where rent does not even feel like anything. See, there's sort of gravity pulling you down and down, where these regions are separated by freedom, by levels of freedom. The lower you go, the less freedom you have. Again, I'm yet to arrange everything in perfect order. I'm just super speculating. I just love seeing the map in its full glory, where I actually understand the importance of all these regions. Capitalism has noob traps. Everyone wants money, essentially, and they will do whatever it takes. Sometimes they will click the scammer mindset and try and trick you, try and create traps to extract money from you without giving you anything good in return. As long as they can get away with that. This is technically why we have regulations, but not every regulation is going to destroy every single trap. You have to be mindful. And one of these noob traps is, again, the foods. But there's so much more. I just cover like 1/4 of this, right? I'm so proud of this, but I'm not an expert on most of the rest of how you earn money, how you find things that you would like. Another thing to understand is that capitalism is an ideology. It's one out of 4 ideologies. There's socialism, communism, and governism. The word that people are not even using. It's government. Governism. What's the problem? We just have ideologies treated as isms. And capitalism has the word capital. Alright? Capital represents many things, actually. Every country has a capital, has the richest place on that country that everyone knows, the most popular place where all the cultural events happen. Capital. Capital is also your accumulation of that special number and more. It's like your net worth of everything you own, basically. That's also your capital. Not only we have the words cap, meaning the ceiling, reaching capacity of your abilities. Have to break through and get a raise. Have to change your ways. If you just live minimum wage, you can accumulate money to a certain cap. You have to break through and just do better. Or remove the cap by, becoming a freelancer, just finding just a better way to earn money that doesn't have such strict caps. And as you break through, you get into the cap, the top tier of whatever you consider top tier. But technically, just like top 1% is also a cap, the top. So just capitalism as a word has just enough meaning to understand what capitalism is. Is this fucking triangle ideology where even $1 bill has a goddamn pyramid on it. I actually made a joke. Mark Passio says "mon eye," which means one eye. What is that? That's fuck you. How about monkey? I think that's a much more memorable way to define what money is. Money is one monkey. Except monkey, paper monkey. Monkey has one key, mono key, and can unlock an opportunity. $1 can buy you something. It's an opportunity for you to get something in return for that $1. It's a key to get that resource. So I think monkey and money has a very interesting relationship in that way. Money is just paper monkey. Monkey is capable of just like grabbing that banana, right? With effort and eating a banana. It gets what it wants. But what it wants has to be pretty simple. The more monkeys you have, the crazier things you can afford. That's just how it goes, boys. I think all of these are just paper monkeys. Monkey brain of, I want this, I want that. But you're not going to be successful unless you have monkey paper. So far, looking good. Yeah, there's exploitation in capitalism, eventually. Some people enslave themselves and become the norm of enslavement. Of like, you have to go through an extensive education, and some people will actually chase enslavement and miss opportunities that are in front of their faces. Capitalism becomes such a toxic thing when it gets out of control. I mean, holy crap. We talk about slavery, but we don't understand that there are now enough people to be called slaves in the world. Like, out of 8 billion people, we had like 1 billion people, I don't know, 200 years ago, 150 years ago. And now we have 8 times more. So even if we had only 10,000 slaves at 1 billion people, right now we probably still have 10,000 slaves, if not more. Slavery did not disappear, and people can be enslaved for 1 day, and that would still be slavery, wouldn't it be? Slavery? And we are enslaved because we have to. We're wage slaves, right? People say that. Pretty, pretty straightforwardly, right? So slavery is a part of this like capitalism mechanism. It's not a part of a socialism or communism. We work together in communism and we share resources in socialism. In capitalism, we try to prove who's the best. We're doing this island survival series. You know, who is the best at surviving? Well, we test humans because there's so many humans. We're kind of living in this like reality show situation. Unfortunate. But the moment we, you know, accumulate enough of a resource, which in this case are human beings, we have to run the fucking game show. There's just no way. That's the only natural next step in order to fix the accumulation of resources. This is why it's a game. This is why it's pretty weird to live in this world right now, because it's actually more crazy than you think. But it's almost like it's over. It's coming to an end. It's hard to tell what's happening with this game. Which is why this is not going to be just one video. I am panicking. I want to know as much as possible about this as it's peeling off and showing its true colors. Yeah, everyone's flashing that $1 bill thing. I was like, what the fuck is this pyramid? That's capitalism, dude. That's cap. That's what it is. It has an eye, though? Wow, that's crazy, dude. I don't know why. I don't know why it has an eye. We don't need to know. But it takes a lot of skill to get up to the very cap of the world, and people like that have to be appreciated instead of fucking assassinated. We have to submit to their, you know, capacity to ruin the worlds around them for the sake of their own greed or whatever. It's like, yeah, but just make good deals, okay? Because, like, clearly you don't need all that money, right? Do something smart with it, please. You see, the problem with eating the rich is that we can't do it. Human population is not allowed to eat the rich. Funny enough, right? The government can eat the rich, though. You can tax the rich to oblivion. They will run away, the rich, so it might not be successful, but government is like the closest thing to eating the rich. We cannot be organized enough to actually do it. We can cancel some of them from having, like, online presence, online reputation. We can cancel them into private people who would still be rich, so it's not really successful cancellation, isn't it? We have to just kind of submit and praise people for being rich, unfortunately. As long as they pay for it. Of course there's a caveat. That's how you eat the rich. Yeah. You want your reputation back? Pay up. Pay up, buddy. I will say nice things about you. We should establish a culture like this after all. Like, what the fuck? There's so many things that's just not established. Or maybe I'm missing out because I live in a shithole where people don't even think about complicated stuff like this. Oh, I love it when I misspelled hightail. It's high late. Hi, late. I'm 20 years late. Did I miss anything? Yeah. Whoops. This is terrifying. This is the terrifying part of capitalism. This is another thing to avoid. It's a boogeyman of being hyped up about something that does not yet exist, that you cannot yet buy. Should avoid that by all means necessary. You should also avoid just taking things for free. You want to invest into, people who make nice things, but you also have to have money for that. So if you are financially insecure and you can't, to the point where you can't really give money to people who deserve it, well, it's fine. But if you are secure, like, you have to support developers of all kind. You got to motivate people to push forward. You got to invest into them, give them something so they work that extra day and could potentially break through. But with this, when something is barred and distant, and it's just like you're just hoping that it comes out, it drains your sanity. And even when it comes out, it can be like a shitty game. There's so many cults surrounding, like, even Elon Musk promising things. Just promise after promise is mostly what we get in capitalism. Because a lot of people want to sell the idea of, like, you're going to do great things. Then the people start paying attention of, like, really? Really? You can do great things? And this is the greatest marketing tactic of all time, promising great things and not delivering anything. But you might still actually escape with a profit. Even after scamming people, you might still escape with a profit. It's crazy. So be careful with this greatest capitalist tactic, the biggest noob trap of all time. Hopes and dreams being sold to you. Like, we don't need that shit. We just need, show me the product, and if I like it, I'll buy it. That's it. Simple as that. You gotta keep it simple in capitalism. Don't get sucked into these weird fucking places offering you fantasies. Useless crap that never really gonna come to fruition. I was waiting for a card game. I was waiting for a hightail. I don't know, man. It's not worth it in both situations. Yeah, it's definitely late game capitalism, late stage capitalism. If I have to pay with brain cells, I'm suddenly surrounded with noise. Like, I tell this story many times, but I have to actually fight it myself. Like, I'm the only person who has to fight noise to just keep sanity. I'm buying material to put on walls, to soundproof walls. Like, it's a fucking real ass battle that I didn't thought it would be this intense. There's gonna be cats on my walls. All it's crazy. My neighbors are hopeless. And again, there's brain rot when we leave people in privacy, when we just let them play the game. And unfortunately, we have to. We have to let the game continue as it goes. The bad people will get themselves in trouble, and the good people will send, the Hunger Games packages so you can survive for a little bit longer, because we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. It's 3 more years in this survival games prison. It is Hunger Games, technically, in a way. It's kind of funny, right? You have to treat it as Hunger Games, as every resource you get is the greatest and the best and the most important. Everything is around you as a resource, but a lot of resources are private and not yours. There's also concept of corruption. Authorities can be corrupted, police can be corrupted, and yes, they will answer your phone call, but they will be like, why should I come to you and help you? Corruption is like, you should, you know? You should investigate fully what's going on instead of assuming things that I assume. It's just like so convenient. They pissed me off so many times. And Yes, they might not take bribes, but that still leaves the other side of corruption of just like not even doing your fucking job. Sounds like corruption to me. When, you know, the expectation is that you will protect the innocent and you don't do that. And it's like, uh-oh, I hope no one's gonna find out about this, because they could exploit the system right now, and I will be surrounded by fucking idiots. Don't give anything for free. This is just a homeless person situation where you don't want to give anything for free. Anyone asks you $10, you have to come up with a deal of, like, you have to do this. You have to jump up and down 100 times to get my $10. Never give anything for free when people ask you. Ask for something, anything in return, just to keep the mindset that nothing is free. Everything has to be a proper exchange, even out of pity. Even if when there's pity in the equation, it cannot just be free. Try not to do things for free, all right? Or take free things. No, ask for free things. Maybe I can do something for you. And it turns into some weird shit, I imagine, but it is what it is. You know, yeah, I've seen much porn surrounding this, like, oh, I don't have enough money to pay for this taxi. Can I do something else? Yeah, okay. And that was a 1 out of 3. Oh boy. 1 out of 3 deep dives into what capitalism is all about. And just, there's so much more. The only hope and dream that you need is that this game will end and you will not lose it. You don't have to win it, because winnings, extra rewards, is just extra stuff. It's not exactly a fulfilling experience. But, you know, we have this game. It's crazy. It's like spiritually mind-blowing of like, how did we set it up? But it's obvious. There's too many of us. There's too many people in the world, and it just happened naturally. Where some people have to stand out. Some people stand out by building a business, you know, by becoming rich and famous and whatnot, and compelling influencers. Like it's crazy stuff. And we wanted this crazy stuff. We wanted personally to relax. Most NPCs wanted to relax and just look at other people succeed, you know? When you relax and you treat it as a game that you probably can't really lose, because people will come and aid you with pity points and whatnot. And yes, some things will slip out of your fingers because you don't deserve them no more or whatever. But never lose hope that this game will end and you'll be fine. Those are my final statements until we dive a little bit deeper into how to crack this capitalism in our favor. See you guys next time.